am Naomi, a 35-year-old office worker. My husband Tom, he is 2 years younger than me. Since he got transferred to the company, I am temporarily living with my parents-in-law. It is only temporarily, for a limited time. Tom wants to stay at his parents' house, but I want to find a proper place to live as soon as possible and get the hell out of my parents-in-law's house. I don't get along with my parents-in-law at all, especially my mother-in-law, Kate. She was sarcastic even before we got married. Well, Naomi, haven't you done the shopping yet? It's past time for the supermarket's bargain time. You can't even shop efficiently at all. It's allowed at my company. I'm on duty during the weekdays. I can't go shopping during the supermarket's bargain time. Kate, I've told you many times, I work during the day, so I can only go shopping after 5 p.m. When I said that to Kate, she said you are a woman who can't have a child. As usual, she blamed me. I and Tom have no children. I didn't check it out in detail at the hospital, so I don't know which one had a problem. I wanted to have a child, but considering how much money Tom was making, I could not go through with the costly infertility treatment. Before we moved in together, Kate's sarcasm bothered me. Even so, it was good while we still lived apart. If we live in the same house day and night, I would be exposed to her sarcasm 24 hours a day. Although my father-in-law, Sam, does not speak directly to me in a sarcastic way, he can be more irritating in a different way than Kate. Sam said he thinks that a woman is an old woman when she is over 30. He treats me like an old woman when I am 35 years old.
Hey, an old lady, pass me the ashtray. What are you doing wearing a skirt? An old lady. Nobody wants to see your legs. An old lady.
If you can call me an old lady, how about you? You're already 60 years old. I am not a timid person either. So when my father-in-law and mother-in-law are rude to me, I would talk back to them every time they were rude to me. And they can say that I am arrogant. It would be a further worse relationship. The atmosphere in the house became tense all the time. I felt that I had reached my limit in living together. But after his new job, Tom had to work on holidays and go on business trips frequently. I was unable to consult with him about moving out.
Naomi, I'm going on another business trip this weekend.
Again? You were on a business trip the other day too. You were going to a lot of business trip at this branch. At his previous workplace, though there was some overtime work, there was almost no holiday work or business trips. He was rarely required to work on holidays or go on business trips.
I can't be helped, can I? Once I change the workplace, it's much of a change.
That may be true, but isn't it too much of a change? Thanks to this, we were supposed to be temporarily living with my parents-in-law. But I can't even find a place to move to. What if we end up living with them forever? I was afraid of that. One day, however, I was trying to get some laundry out of Tom's suitcase. I found a piece of paper in there. It was a receipt for an online reservation on a travel website. I wondered if it was a reservation for a flight and a hotel for a business trip. I looked at it and couldn't believe what I saw. It was a reservation for a hotel room with Disneyland tickets. It was for 2 people. The date was yesterday. That was the day when Tom was on a business trip. Of course, Tom's company does not do business with Disneyland. His company deals in marine products. That's why it isn't related to Disneyland at all. Tom pretended to go on a business trip. He actually went to Disneyland for 2 days. The reservation of accommodation for 2 people means surely he went with a woman. I'm in shock. I heard Tom singing in the bath. It was the theme song that everyone is familiar with. It must have reminded him of Disneyland. I guess he was humming naturally. It seems that he was on a fun and enjoyable affair trip. I was very angry. Then I went into the bathroom and accused Tom. But at the moment, Tom's smartphone rang. I was so angry that I could not make calm decisions. I was pissed off and answered the phone. Hello? I heard a young woman's voice for a moment, and then immediately the phone was cut off. No way. I was sure. The phone call I just got must be the one who had been to Disneyland with Tom. In other words, the person was the one who Tom was having an affair. When she called Tom, she heard a woman's voice, so she must have hung up the phone in a hurry. I checked his incoming call history. Tom didn't care about security. He had not even set a PIN number. Bingo. Immediately, I could see his smartphone. But when I looked at the contents of the phone, I had a headache. There was a lot of evidence of an affair on his phone. I had no more doubt about it. He had many photos of him and a young woman. All of them were taken on the same day. The days when Tom was on a business trip or working on a holiday. And he even left a photo of them on the bed. I was stunned that he was being so careless. I checked his incoming call history again and found Beth Brown from the social network. I searched for her name and read her message to Tom. I like Tom so much. I can't wait to be your wife. The woman, Beth, seemed to want to marry Tom. While I was shocked, Tom came to me after he took a bath. I feel refreshed. I immediately blamed him. What do you mean you feel refreshed? You seem to be refreshed in all sorts of ways. What? Who is Beth Brown? Huh? He was so surprised to hear the name of his adultery partner, sadly. You lied to me and went out. You were actually traveling with a woman named Beth, right? You lied about all those business trips and working on your days off. That's unacceptable. What the hell? He was so upset. Then I showed him his phone. All the evidence is in this phone. What? You? Did you see my phone without my permission? That could be an invasion of privacy. A man who has no morals and has an affair. What do you mean by an invasion of privacy? That's disgusting. If you don't want people to see this, you should set a PIN number. I made a promise to Tom quite some time ago. That is, you would never cheat on me. If you cheat on me, we'll break up. I told Tom. Of course, I still feel the same way. I can't continue to live in a marriage with a man who would have a relationship with another woman. Let's get a divorce. When I said just that, Tom nodded his head immediately. Oh, yes? That was unexpected. I thought he would resist more. He might prepare for divorce when I found out about the affair. Tomorrow, I'm gonna pick up the divorce papers. You should tell your parents about the divorce. Alright. Tom's agreement was so simple. But I can't and won't change my declaration once I've made it. I have no intention of doing so. This is the end of my married life. I felt loneliness. The next day, I went out in the morning. I went to the city hall to get the divorce papers and to do my stuff. I was late at night when I returned home. My husband and parents-in-law were waiting for me at home.
You finally came home.
I thought about where you were wandering. When Kate saw me, she immediately said in a sarcastic tone, "The fact that Tom is here means that she is already aware of Tom's affair and divorce." I wondered if she should have said she was sorry or something before being sarcastic. Instead of an apology, Kate says something outrageous. "Well, that's okay. You are finally going to leave. I don't even want to see you anymore. It's just as good you went out."
What do you mean?
I asked about it to smiling Kate. I mean what I just said. I didn't want to see your face. I was sick of it. I finally got Tom to come back here, but you always bothered me. I attempt to argue with you and try to get rid of you. You're not even pretty and always against me. You were not going to get out of here. I finally had to use my trick.
A trick?
Kate laughed. You already know Tom's girlfriend's name, don't you?
Yes. Brown, I think.
Why would Kate confirm the name of Tom's affair partner? Actually, you know, a friend of mine from my cultural school, there's a person named Brown. Her daughter is a very polite and a lovely young lady. She's 25 years old and 10 years younger than you. She's young enough to have lots of kids. Then Kate told me an unbelievable confession. So I made Mrs. Brown's daughter and Tom get together.
Huh?
I was astonished. I never thought Kate would tell me such a thing. Seriously? Did you help Tom to have an affair?
Oh, that's not appropriate to say it.
I just introduced them to each other. I was shocked by my mother-in-law, who never thought it was a bad thing. How could a mother introduce her son to cheating on his wife? And she was so proud to tell her son's wife about it. What a horrible mother. But I had no choice. Tom is an only child, so I needed his junior. Even you. If you had a child, I was going to admit that you were still his wife. You were always working instead of having children. Besides Kate, Sam nodded his head in agreement. So in other words, Sam knew about Kate's behavior. Do you understand? It means that you've already been the age of 35. And we don't need any more old women who can't even have children. So, get the hell out of here. Kate acted like a winner. After a moment of silence, I said, "Well, I understand very well what you guys are thinking. I will live as you want. I will take all my personal belongings with me. Do as you want. I'm sure you don't have much to pack anyway. I can give you a ride if you like," Kate said to me with a laugh. But I am the one who is really laughing. No, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's already been arranged.
Huh?
'Cause I don't cry out or lose my mind. Kate looked surprised. Besides, Kate, I already knew that you had been helping Tom cheat on me.
What?
I laughed at Kate. What do you think I have been doing all day? If all I had to do was go to the city hall to pick up the divorce papers, it wouldn't take me this long. I spent the whole day today arranging to my moving, and I went to see Beth Brown.
What? Did you meet with Beth?
Tom asked me. What about it? You cheated on me as you want, and I have no idea about it. You think I'm not going to complain to her? When I checked your smartphone yesterday, I made sure that I got her phone number. Poor Beth. By the way, when I called her and said, I'm Tom's wife and I'd like to meet you, she was so surprised. I heard you told Beth that you were single. I told her the truth. Tom and my parents-in-law were astonished. They had never thought that I could do such a thing in just one day. Beth found out that you had been unfaithful to me and her, and was grieving terribly. Of course, Mrs. Brown was furious too. To both Tom and Kate. She said she would sue both of you marriage fraud. I felt so sorry for them. I promised to help her.
What?
Tom was trembling. Of course. The same goes for Kate. I had a lot to be sympathetic to Beth, so I decided not to ask alimony from her. For that, you, Sam, and Kate, I'm going to add on top of that.
Alimony? Why do I have to pay alimony?
Sam said that in a panic.
If it's only Tom, it's none of our business.
They had at least anticipated that their son would pay alimony, but they never thought that they would be charged as well, without them getting hurt themselves. They were going to take all the goodies. How can there be such a good deal? Of course there is. Even if it's just compensation for the mental anguish. I think that's a good enough reason, right? While I was laughing, Sam fell silent. Besides, have you forgotten what I do for a living? I am a clerk at a law firm. I consulted with the director's lawyer. I'll have him try to see if that's enough to get the alimony. Of course, today, I've already contacted the lawyer at the law firm where I work.
What?
Then I heard the sound of the car just arriving at my front door. Ah, here it comes.
Hello, moving service.
I headed for the front door with a smile on my face. Thank you for coming so late. Sorry for the sudden request.
No problem. There was an available time on the night shift. We were able to get a few things done, too. So we have no problem even at night.
Well then, please get to work right away. Oh, please be careful with the fragile things. As soon as I invited them in, many workers entered the house and started to pack up the belongings.
Hey!
Under my direction, the workers were quickly packing up my belongings. Not only my clothes, books, and computer, but also the appliances in the living room and kitchen.
Oh, you guys!
You can't take that! That's our stuff! No. They are all my personal belongings that I bought into this house. When we first moved here after Tom's transfer, the appliances in my parents-in-law's house had been used for a long time. I'm a bit of a home appliance fanatic, so I couldn't stand it. So I brought the appliances from my old apartment. Now, Kate has become so accustomed to the newest appliances. She has mistaken them for her own. Robot vacuums and cordless cleaners, a gorgeous microwave oven that can cook a variety of foods, a dishwasher, an expensive hairdryer, and an espresso machine.
You are taking away everything. All the expensive stuff.
Kate grabbed me, but Tom stopped her.
Mom, we don't have a choice. 'Cause it's all Naomi's.
Apparently, Tom had given up. But Kate was not to give up yet. Once you know how good the newest appliances are, you can't go back to the old ones. If you are not satisfied, why don't you just buy another one? After paying the alimony, of course. I don't think you have the money to buy another expensive appliances after paying alimony. Meanwhile, the workers were carrying the belongings I instructed them to carry into the truck. They bowed to me and got into the truck. Then, please take them to the address where they are to be taken out. I'll be right there. I watched the moving truck drive off. I got into my car. Of course, this car belongs to me.
That truck, where is it going?
Tom asked. What? Of course, I'm taking it to my apartment. My apartment where I lived until you were transferred. The apartment I bought when I was single. I had consigned the sale to a real estate agent when Tom was transferred, but the estimated price was too high and it didn't be sold at all. I still hadn't let it go. The real estate agent keeps saying, let's sell it for a lower price. I am so glad I didn't sell the lower one. I never thought it would come to this. I giggled as I fastened my seatbelt. But maybe I predicted it in my heart.
What? I don't understand,
Tom said. Because I asked for a selling price higher than the market price. I was trying to make it hard to sell. Thus, we could always go back to the apartment. Because of my words, Tom looked so depressed.
You bitch!
Kate was suddenly screaming and rushed toward me, and I had pushed aside. As I was moaning in pain, Kate threw a box at me. But suddenly, she was hit by a black object. Ah! She fell down. Thank you, Ben. I was on a moving truck with my cat, Ben, in my arms. I was carried by the moving truck. I hurried to the new place to escape from my mother-in-law. Why was Ben there? I don't know why Ben was there. But Ben must have had a strong sense of justice. He must have come to rescue me. I'll give Ben cat's food later. After that, Tom and I got divorced. From the law firm I work for, Tom and my parents-in-law were sued for alimony. I asked all trials to the firm. Then my boss accepted the case almost free of charge. I really appreciated it. Even though it's a young novice lawyer in charge of the case, I am relieved to know that my boss supported the case. As for Beth's lawsuit, my boss dealt with it instead of the novice lawyer. He says he will file criminal and civil charges against them because of the malicious nature of the crime. It's been a long time since he filed a criminal case. He says he is looking forward to doing a great challenge for him. After paying the compensation to Beth, as well as the alimony to me, they would have to sell their house to pay the damages. I can't help laughing when I think of the life of extreme poverty and debt that awaits the three of them. I am now single, but compared to life when those parents-in-law and my unfaithful husband, it is like heaven. For a while, I will be with Ben at the apartment. I'd like to enjoy single life freely.